Hello everybody, welcome back to another Kinger Guide. Today we are discussing the Protector's Arena, the boss being Avarice. We are going to go over loadout, comp, build, and general strats, tips, and tricks to defeat this boss. Of the two I've done so far, this is the harder of the two, with a strict DPS check that you must meet. Okay, so for comp, we're going to want to go in there with one tank, using sword and shield with hatchet. At this point, you're going to want pristine carnelian gems in both your weapons. The hatchet is just there for berserk, so I'm not going to give you a loadout for that. It doesn't matter, it's just a taunt stick. The sword and shield loadout will be going over after. You're going to want a healer as well. Healer can use whatever they want as their secondary, it doesn't matter that much. You're going to want to bring for DPS 2 fire/ice mages, primarily using fire as the boss has a 30% weakness to it. And for your melee, you're going to want to have them running Great Axe. The reason that being is Gravwell is really good for the adds, as well as there's a 20% increased slash damage, which is what Great Axes do. Alright everybody, so this is the loadout I recommend taking into the arenas. Sturdy Grip is almost a must. They do a lot of damage to you, and reducing the stamina damage is very important. I found that defensive training was really nice because you're blocking a lot of attacks, so a pretty much consistent 10% fortify is really nice. Recuperation is very nice as well, increasing all healing and regenerations by 10%. I believe that also includes stamina regen when you're in Holy Sacred Ground, so make sure that you guys take this talent as well. If possible, I like to take these two talents as they're very strong, but we weren't able to work this into our build. Sturdy Shield, again, just something I consider core and absolutely necessary. This tree can't be adjusted as we don't take these two abilities, and we're not going to spec into movement abilities as a tank. So this is the build I suggest entering all arenas with. As far as attributes go for the arena, I recommend getting at least 250 con for the reduced damage at full HP. That will come in very handy. As well as make sure you're getting as much strength as you can once you're at the 250 con. This will help you maintain aggro as well as do damage to the boss. Okay, so as far as preparation for this arena goes, I suggest bringing strong Angry Earth coatings, at least 2 per player, including your healer, as increasing your DPS by 11% all around your raid will help you destroy the adds in time and kill the boss within the 15-minute time limit. We made strong Angry Earth coating because that was the strongest we could make. Make the highest tier you could possibly make and go in with that. Make sure you bring with you some infused health pots as well. In addition to the health pots, bring some infused mana pots if you're a healer or mage. You will definitely be needing them. Bring the highest tier meal that you can. Health regen is always appreciated on your healers. This is Avarice, the arena boss. So far of the two that I've personally done, definitely the much harder of the two. When you start the fight, the first thing you're going to want to look is for the 2 affixes. This one is brutal and fire resistant, which obviously is unfortunate because, as we discussed, we brought 2 fire mages. If you'll see, the fire mages cast fire for quite a bit because we obviously didn't realize right away that it was fire resistant. If you hear in the comms, if you're looking at the full video, you'll hear us discuss, like, why isn't it doing any damage? And then we clue into it. So you're going to want to check what those are and adjust if needed. One of the main ones you would have to adjust to is obviously fire resistant. Most other ones, just be aware of what they are and do your best to counter them. The next thing you're going to want to notice is his attack pattern. He can do generally like one of 2 things. He'll either go light attack, or he'll go light attack, heavy attack. All of these are generally pretty safe to dodge, and he's got quite a bit of time in between his attacks that will let you get your stamina back up. So as long as you don't get your shield broken in the combo, you should have enough time to regenerate your stamina. The other thing you got to watch out for is he'll occasionally do a slam, which does quite a bit of stamina damage, and a tail swipe. That's more for your melee, but you've got to watch out for it as best you can. Avarice will occasionally reach into the ground as well, pulling out a large spike and hurling that at one of your ranged players. Once again, they should do their best to iframe dodge this, or just make sure they get healed up after. Not the most threatening of all moves. I believe it's only once he's sub 50%, or at least it appeared to be for us, he gains 2 new abilities. One of them, as you saw there, is he will clap his hands together, projectiling a small thing out of the ground. The other one is the one he just did, which has a large area of effect. It will actually show a outline of a cage on the side and deal large AoE damage in that area. That is one of the hardest mechanics to deal with and will wipe your raid if they're not careful. Make sure your range stay out of it and your melee do their best to get out of it in time. If they're running Great Axe, they have the ability to use the dash to get out of that in time. And as a tank, you can eat it, but you want to try your best maybe to iframe dodge it, or if possible, get out as well. Alright guys, let's talk about the summon phase in this boss. Once every minute, he will rub his hands together and reach into the ground. After that, ads will appear. You're going to want to either use Defiant Stance or Berserk with the hatchet to taunt them over. Once they're all grouped up, as you can see here, you're going to want to follow up with a Gravity Well and then have your mages use their full kit. The burst in those in that phase needs to be fast and needs to be strong. Your DPS needs to be geared. He will reabsorb them, gaining himself additional stacks. Each stacks increases his damage quite a bit, and if he gets over 7 stacks, he's gonna one-shot everyone, including the tanks. If you get to the point where you're at 7 stacks, during this ad phase, I recommend taunting the ads and pulling them away, and just having your DPS burn the boss, because at that point, it doesn't matter how many stacks he gets, he's gonna start one-shotting everybody. So you'll see here in our kill pull, we only let him get to about 3 stacks, which is good. The goal is to keep him under 5 stacks. Obviously, the overall goal is 0 stacks. But when you're drafting your comp, think about your DPS and make sure that you have enough to kill all of the ads in that phase, or you will wipe 100%. So, while we're talking about ads, we had this happen to us one time. And if you could find a way to replicate this, maybe by tanking him near the wall every time, it would make the ad phase that much easier. As you can see, he summons the ads into the wall, having them actually be summoned stacked up. So we taunt them, we grab well, and we instantly burst down this group. If you could replicate this every time, guys, this boss would be doable with, doesn't matter how high the DPS group is, as long as you have any AoE DPS. Okay, well, overall, if you can deal with the ads and make sure you're bursting them down every phase, you shouldn't really have an issue with this fight. The main mechanic to deal with in this fight is the ad phase. As you can see here, you really need to focus up, because one mistake and it can almost cost your group a wipe. I'll show you guys what happened here. So he goes to summon the ads. I pull out my hatchet. So the mistake I make here, looking back now on this VOD, obviously I didn't know in the moment, is I actually had Defiant Stance up, so I could have just used that to taunt. But I switched to the hatchet to taunt, and you can see that I attempt to switch back to my sword, but I don't. So instead of having my defensives up, I actually end up just getting killed here. This almost causes our group to wipe. Luckily, the people I'm running with are very solid, and we managed to recover and still get the kill here. I just thought I would point that out to mention that you really need to always be paying 100% attention. Any mistake can cost you in this fight, and if you keep your guard up and don't make mistakes, this fight is easily obtainable. We keep fighting here, we get him down, and we get the kill. You'll see I actually get a little cocky at the end, and I start just kind of walking away, and he kills me right at the end for it, but it doesn't cause a wipe or anything like that. So get your group together, get 4 people you trust, and go ahead and conquer this arena now. Alright guys, once again, thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope it helped you take out the arena boss, Avarice. To us, it gave us a little bit of trouble. Took us maybe 3 orbs to get it down with no information. Hopefully, using what I've given you here, you can negate our learning process and take it out first shot. Thank you for watching. Follow my Twitch if you guys want more content. I'm live there almost daily. Maybe cut out the I'm a YouTuber and want to be a douche and leave the rest in. And that's a decent outro, I think.